All right, so how many of you go to Saratoga High School? So I graduated from Saratoga a long, long time ago. When I was applying to colleges, I had absolutely no idea what I was going to do. I wish I did this mind mapping, all these things that you're doing, amazing. I wish I had done them, because then maybe my life wouldn't have been so circuitous. But I kind of did what I was supposed to do, what parents tell you to do, right? Like, it was expected that I go to college, so I applied to colleges. I applied to all the UCs, private schools, all that. I, for the most part, did not declare a major. Again, I had no idea what I was doing. The one school that I did apply for a major was Berkeley. I knew I was probably going to go into the sciences because, right, that's the only field you're supposed to major in, because that's the one that gives you a job. All
Asian
that.
parents.
Right. So I knew I was going to the sciences, kind of like some of these others. Like I did well in the sciences. I was most passionate about biology. So I kind of knew probably bio, but the problem was I had no desire to be a doctor. So I was like, why would I go into biology if I'm not going to be pre-med? So I didn't want to do bio. So at the time, Berkeley was the first year that we were offering a new major called bioengineering. And so that sounded cool. I had no idea what it was, but it had biology, which I was into. It had engineering, which supposedly could get you a job in the future. So I decided I would just check that box. So that was the major that I ended up getting into for Cal. So fast forward to college. Again, no vision of what I was going to do in the future. Going to college because you're supposed to go to college. And then going through classes, I, again, didn't really feel anything for the bioengineering classes. Still didn't really know what bioengineering was. Basically, if you're interested in bioengineering as an undergrad, it means taking all of the bio classes and all of the engineering classes. So basically, you're taking a ton of introductory classes kind of across the board. So you kind of have a feel for the sciences, yet you're not specialized in anything. So it was around maybe junior year that I was starting to question my major choice. And I kind of went home going, you know what, there's one class that really I was into at college. That was Asian American Studies. What are you gonna do with an Asian American Studies major, right? Like I went home like, I'm really into this class. I was telling my parents, what if I like switch my major? And they're like, and what are you gonna do with that major? What kind of job can you get? And I'm like, no idea. So I didn't change my major. Another reason I didn't change my major was because of pride. Right? Like bioengineering is a major where at the time pretty much 50% or more of the people who got in ended up dropping because for whatever reason it's not the easiest major to do. And so because of pride, I didn't want people to think that I dropped out of the major because I couldn't do it, right? So I ended up getting my degree in bioengineering. Had absolutely no desire to keep on going to school, so didn't want to go into grad school. But if you don't go to grad school, if you're going to go on a bioengineering path, you really can't do much. So I ended up getting a job in a biotech company working in the lab. Again, kind of doing it because you're supposed to have a job, right? I went to college, I got a degree, I should have a job. So I went to get a job, and so I worked in a lab for 2 years. So in that time, again, no passion. Right? I go to job every day, kind of to go get my paycheck and then go home. And finally, again, this is 22, 23, I finally realized I really probably should start thinking about what I want to do with my life. Finally doing something like what you guys are doing with this mind map thing, right? Thinking about what is my passion, what did I want to do with this body that I can't come. And so I started thinking, right? So now let's go back to college. So in college, I don't remember really anything that I learned from my classes, like absolutely nothing. But the one value about going to college was on one of the days where they were having club tabling, I saw one club that I was interested in. I'd always been interested in Buddhism. Not really sure why. I mean, at home, we kind of practice Buddhism, right? We kind of do the bowing and all that, but I had no idea what Buddhism is and what it means to be a Buddhist. So I saw a club that was something Buddhism organization, or Buddhist organization. I was like, oh, that sounds kind of interesting. I'd be interested in knowing more, so I signed up, thinking that, I'll be going to like little discussion groups to learn about the, what Buddha's teaching for. Turns out this group doesn't do any of that. Turns out this group goes to convalescent homes and then goes to like do street sweeping, that kind of thing. So what this organization was Sandi Zee. So I got involved into Sandi Zee and again, didn't ever learn any of the Buddhist sutras, which I thought I would be learning about. Instead, I learned about the teachings of the Buddha, in that the purpose is to help others, right? To find the people who are suffering and to help them. And so after college, even though I was working in the lab, I still continued volunteering with Sandi Zee. And it was in that time and that I was trying to figure out what I wanted to do with my life, that I realized there was two main things I really wanted to do. One was to encourage people to be vegetarian. The other was to hopefully be able to find people who are suffering and be able to help them. Those were my only two things. So what career path would help me do those things? I thought about a couple. I was thinking about going into like nutrition maybe, and like learn more about vegetarian diets, and then maybe go into public health and try to, get more people to become vegetarian. Decided that really wasn't what I wanted to do either. And finally decided that I would go into education, because that was the one place where I could do both. That I could secretly kind of encourage people to go vegetarian, and then also hopefully be able to be in contact with lots and lots of young people and be able to hopefully change some of their lives. And so about 3 years into working, I decided to switch careers. I went back to school to get my teaching credential, get my graduate degree in education. And since then, I've been a teacher. I started first teaching in San Francisco in some low-income areas, and now I teach in San Mateo. So I guess the point of my talk is that as much as you can, try to have experiences, because it is only through these experiences that you'll be able to find a passion for something, and whatever that something is, that will be able to give you a better idea of where you should go for your career choices. And as much as money is important, I know a lot of people who go into a career because of money. I know a ton of lawyers that hate their lives and hate their jobs because it doesn't provide them that satisfaction. And so a lot of them right now are my colleagues. I have a lot of teacher friends who used to be lawyers. So whatever it is that you can find a way to just have lots of experiences to try to find your passion.
Bravo!